Hey everyone, let's kick off with Highguard, the surprise that closed out the Game Awards in 2025. This is the debut title from a new studio, Wildlight Entertainment, made up of devs from Respawn and a few devs from Concord, which tells you all you need to know about this game already. Highguard launches January 26, 2026, which is just like 3 weeks away, as a free-to-play PvP raid shooter / hero shooter, blending high fantasy with sci-fi elements. Picture massive team-based battles where you play as wardens, arcane gunslingers wield magic-infused firearms. You'll ride epic mounts across mythical content, storm objectives, raid enemy strongholds, and pull off coordinated assaults with your squad. Ever since Jeff hyped this game up by making it the last trailer of the Game Awards in 2025, people have just been turned off by it, and ever since launching that trailer, the dev team has been completely radio silent. I'm sorry, but the game just looks like another generic hero shooter in an already dying, saturated market. I mean, the game just looks like Concord, and it doesn't help that the team actually has devs on it from Firewalk Studios, the developer that made Concord. The game's already a dead game, but the talk about it after it launches will be all over social media. Expect to see a ton of videos about this game. I don't know, Concord lasted 2 weeks. We'll see how long this one goes for. Next up, horror fans, brace yourselves for Resident Evil 9 Requiem, Capcom's 9th mainline entry into the Resident Evil franchise. Announced a chilling trailers throughout 2025. This is built on the RE engine with full path tracing support for next level lighting and shadows. Requiem set for release on February 27, 2026 on PS5, Xbox Series X, and Switch 2. The game introduces a new protagonist, Grace Ashcroft, the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft. Fans familiar with the Resident Evil Outbreak games will recognize Alyssa, and we also have the return of everyone's favorite, Leon S. Kennedy. The game also hints at a return to Raccoon City, where players will face a nightmare outbreak that combines classic zombies with grotesque new bioweapons. The tagline, Requiem for the Dead, Nightmare for the Living, promises psychological horror, limited resources, and the signature tension of every corner potentially being your last. Gameplay now allows you to choose between first person, third person, or a combination of both. Scavenge ammo, solve puzzles, manage inventory, and fight or flee from relentless enemies. You'll play as Grace for the more survival horror aspects of the game, and Leon for the more horror action aspects of the game. We don't know much about the game story-wise. We do know it involves a new virus called the Alpus virus, which seems to be a mix between the molded from Resident Evil 7 and 8, and I believe the progenitor virus. Next, we have Crimson Desert, Pearl Abyss's long-awaited open-world action-adventure game, finally landed on March 19, 2026, on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Mac OS. Originally teased years ago alongside Black Desert, this is their big single-player push with RPG depth. You play as Cliff McDuff, a troubled mercenary leading a ragtag crew across the vast war-torn continent of Pywell, a medieval fantasy world packed with brutal conflicts, ancient ruins, and breathtaking landscapes. The story mixes personal redemption with epic faction wars, full of betrayal, alliances, and cinematic drama. Gameplay shines with seamless climbing, think Breath of the Wild, fluid combo-based combat, massive bosses, mount riding, large-scale battles. There's deep exploration, side activities like fishing or minigames, and RPG progression for skills and gear. Trailers show jaw-dropping visuals, dynamic weather, and over-the-top action like fighting dragons mid-climb. After multiple delays, Crimson Desert looks polished and ambitious. This could be the open-world hit surprise of 2026. Next, we have Bungie back with Marathon, their extraction shooter reveals set for March 2026 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, priced at a welcoming $40. You play as cybernetic runner scavenging alien planets for loot while fighting rival teams. The story unfolds in a mysterious lore-rich universe with cryptic narratives revealed through runs and environmental storytelling. Core gameplay is class-based extraction, drop in, grab valuables, upgrade abilities mid-match, and extract before death or lose everything. Expect ability-driven combat, customizable loadouts that carry over seasons, and intense 3-team firefights in gorgeous arenas. Bungie promises crossplay, regular updates, and no pay-to-win nonsense. Now, the game has been facing a lot of criticism for its blatant art theft and also just looking completely generic, and with games like Arc Raiders out there and Tarkov, it could be facing a lot of steep competition. We'll see how things go. It's supposed to launch sometime in March 2026. We'll see. Next, we have replaced a stunning 2.5D cyberpunk gem from Sad Cat Studios, hitting March 12, 2026 on Xbox Series X and S, PC, and day one on Game Pass. It's been delayed a few times, but the final trailer looks incredible. Set in an alternative 1980s America ravaged by nuclear fallout, you control Reach, an AI trapped in a human body uncovering a deep corporate conspiracy in dystopian Phoenix City. Gameplay blends cinematic platforming, pixel-perfect parkour, and free-flowing combat inspired by Arkham-style fluidity, but in gorgeous retro-futuristic pixel art. Hack systems, dodge bullets in slow-mo, chain melee combos, and make narrative choices that shift the story. The atmosphere is pure Blade Runner meets Batman, dark neon streets, moral gray areas, and a haunting synth soundtrack. For indie fans craving style and substance, replays could be a sleeper hit in 2026. Next up, we have IO Interactive's James Bond's origin story, 007 First Light, which arrives on May 27, 2026. The game game will release on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. This is IO's first non-Hitman project in years. Play as a young, reckless James Bond fresh out of MI6, undertaking dangerous missions that would shape him into the iconic spy that we all know. Expect classic Bond tropes, gadgets, glamour, and global intrigue, with a narrative full of betrayal and high stakes. Gameplay is third-person espionage action, stealth infiltration, hand-to-hand takedowns, gadget use, and shooting, all built on Hitman's engine for emergent freedom. With IO's mastery of sandbox levels, this could be the best Bond game ever. I am a little hesitant right now because we did see a recent report coming out that the game's leads are saying that the game is being built for the modern audience, which is always a bad sign for your game, which usually means it's going to be woke and DEI filled. James Bond is supposed to be the ultimate masculine male fantasy. You got your fast cars, guns, women, gadgets. If this game is truly built for the modern audience, expect the DEI Bond, which could be very bad for sales. TT Games delivers Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight in mid-2026, a full open-world Lego adventure exploring Batman's origins and legacy in brick-built Gotham. Play as Bruce Wayne becoming the Dark Knight, battling iconic villains like Joker, Riddler, and more in a humorous, family-friendly take on the mythos. Co-op support, fast explorable Gotham, and that classic Lego charm. I think this game is a mixture of all the Batman Arkham games combined with the movies, so all the way from Batman 1989 up till today's hit, The Batman. Think of all that mixed into one, and that's what this game is. This is the big one. Grand Theft Auto 6, delayed to November 19th, 2026 for the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. Rockstar's masterpiece returns to modern-day Vice City. The story centers on dual protagonists Lucille Caminos and Jason Duval, a romantic couple and criminal partners, often compared to Bonnie and Clyde. Lucille, the series' first female lead protagonist, and Jason, a small-time criminal navigating a world stacked against him. I mean, what else can be said about this game? When it comes out, it's going to be the most successful product in the entire history of the world. It's going to break so many records and make so much money, it's not even funny. Like I said, this is going to be the biggest launch of anything, period. So next up, we have The Blood of Dawnwalker from Rebel Wolf Studio, a new studio comprised of a bunch of former ex-CD Projekt Red developers. I believe the person directing this game was also the director of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, one of my most favorite games of all time, so that's a great sign to see. So The Blood of Dawnwalker is a dark fantasy narrative sandbox RPG. The game is set in a gritty 14th century Europe ravaged by bloody conflicts and the Black Death. Vampires and other nocturnal creatures emerge from the shadows to seize power, turning legends into reality. You play as Kelwyn, a young man cursed to become a Dawnwalker, human by day, vampire by night, struggling with his dual nature while navigating morale choices, revenge, family ties, and ancient secrets. The game is set to launch sometime in 2026 for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and the PC. Insomniac's Marvel's Wolverine hits fall 2026, exclusively on PS5. This is a more brutal, mature take on Logan. The game is a semi-open world third-person action game with savage claw combat, healing factor mechanics, and emotional storytelling, digging into Wolverine's painful past. Gameplay emphasizes combo-heavy fights, environmental destruction, boss battles against Marvel foes, and narrative depths. The trailer teases gore and intensity unseen in prior Marvel games. I'm looking forward to see how this game runs on my PS5 Pro when it launches in fall of 2026. Next up, we have another PS5 exclusive, Housemarque Saros, launches on April 30th, 2026 on PS5, a sci-fi horror action game with a roguelike twist, starring Rahul Kahali. The game takes place on planet Carcosa during a sinister eclipse. The game features fast-paced third-person shooting, upgradable loadouts that persist, climactic bosses, and a haunting story. The game blends Returnal's intensity with cinematic flair. Housemarque's arcade pedigree shines in addictive runs and upgrades. Sci-fi horror fans, this one could be special for you. Alright, next up, Pragmata. Capcom's mysterious Pragmata finally arrives on April 24th, 2026 for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, and PC. The game is set in a dystopian near future on a lunar research station on the moon. You follow two protagonists, Hugh, a rugged space explorer, and Diana, a young android girl who often rides on his shoulders or back. They form an unlikely duo, teaming up to battle hostile AI controlling the station, while uncovering mysteries and trying to return to Earth. Gameplay is third person with a unique twist. You control both characters simultaneously in combat and exploration. Hugh handles direct action like shooting, while Diana provides hacking abilities to manipulate enemies, environments, and solve puzzles. This dual brain system blends fast-paced shooting, strategic hacking, and puzzle solving in a cold, high-tech lunar setting. Next up, we have Gears of War E-Day, set 14 years before the original game. The game follows younger versions of Gears of War heroes Marcus Phoenix and Dom Santiago as they fight to survive the initial Locust invasion. In the city of Kelowna, a new location, it emphasizes horror, chaos, and a series signature cover-based combat. The Coalition leads development with assistance from people Can and Fly, co-developers on early Gears titles, and is published by Xbox Game Studios. Built entirely in UE5, the studio calls it their most ambitious game yet, aiming for stunning visuals and a return to the series' gritty roots, more linear than semi-open world. We still don't have an official release date yet, we just know it's coming in 2026 for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Game Pass, and PC. Alright, and finally we have Playground Games' new game, Fable. This new Fable game is an upcoming reboot of the beloved RPG series developed by Playground Games, known for the Forza Horizon games, with support from Eidos Montreal and published by Xbox Game Studios. It's a fresh start for the franchise, rebuilding the whimsical world of Albion while keeping the classic mix of humor, player choice, and consequences. While we haven't seen much of the game besides a few trailers, we haven't seen any real raw gameplay footage. For gameplay, you can probably expect an open world reimagining of Albion, third-person combat, melee, magic, and range, deep morality system that affects your appearance, reputation, and the world around you, plus monster fights blending scary and silly, and it is being powered by the Forza Tech engine, the engine they used to build their Forza racing games. We'll see how they do with a engine built to make racing games, now being used to build open-world fantasy games. The game was originally slated to release in 2025, but got delayed into 2026. We're hearing now from Xbox that the game is definitely going to be shipping this year, so we'll see how it goes. I know it's probably coming for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Game Pass, and PC. Alright guys, there's some of the big game slates released this year. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know what your most anticipated game of the year is. I think for me right now it is Blood of Dawnwalker. I'm really hyped for that game. Love The Witcher 3. Can't wait to see what those guys do. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more gaming content. Until next time guys, bye.